This morning's guest was in education for 30-plus years, but in 1992, he got an education in politics. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Wheelwright Auditorium on the campus of Coastal Carolina University. We're focused on public service and education, and we're visiting with longtime educator and public servant, the Honorable Crain E. Woods. Good morning.
Good morning.
Honorable Mr. Woods, do we call you?
Crain.
Are you okay with Crain? That's great.
Yes.
For viewers who obviously who know you as the Honorable and have heard that so long, probably a lot of them who know you as Mr. Woods from having been a student, or Mr. Woods having seen you in Horry County education for years. It's great to get you in.
It's good to be here.
Absolutely. You know, to think about it, you've been here in Horry County for a couple of years.
Just a few.
What year did you all arrive?
I believe that was in '62.
Is that right? Longer than a lot of folks who were even born here have been. But you're a Palmetto State native?
Yes. Born and raised in due west South Carolina, Abbeville County, great county, you know. So, but it's just good to be here.
Absolutely. Did you ever think about leaving the Palmetto State? Did you have any opportunities to go somewhere else? I know you obviously having been schooled here as well as...
Well, I did. I lived in New York for a while, but didn't like that at all. So I decided to come back to South Carolina, the great state, I think, a great place to be.
Absolutely. Do you still have family in the upstate?
Yes, Honea Path and Greenville, in that particular area. We do have family there, and we visit occasionally, not too often now, as I mature in life.
I like that, mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, of course, on a Thursday morning, to think about all the experiences that happen in the area in your long time, both public service as well as commitment to education. What was it? Was it something in your early childhood that prompted you to get interested in education?
Well, it goes back to my parents. My parents were just believers in education. They, of course, at an early age, they attended school, and their parent saw that they would attend college, a little institute in Seneca, South Carolina. And that's where they met, and they got married, and of course they dropped out at that time, and they went to Florida and stayed there 11 years, and then came back home and stayed there ever since.
Is that right? Do you have brothers and sisters, Crain?
I have sisters. It was three of us, and of course one is deceased now. One sister.
Sorry.
She lived in Michigan.
And your other sister, is she?
She's in Orangeburg. She was in education. We're all in education. Yeah.
I think I saw that your, of course, your mother, I believe, was a housewife, and your father had been a farmer.
Yes.
They made a commitment, obviously, to not only making sure their children got educated, but made sure there were other vehicles there to really reach into the community.
Yeah, they believed in education and taking care of the family. They had a strong commitment, and naturally that has followed down through the Woods history. You go back, very few that you will find divorces in the Woods family. Very few. Maybe some in the later years now that have come along, some of the younger group, but the older group, you just didn't find that.
Very dedicated to themselves and to the relationships there. I think you used the word early this morning of commitment.
Yes.
Which is a big component there. You know, as you think, what was it about Horry County and an opportunity to come down here in, I believe you said 1962, that really interested you? What was it about the county that sparked your interest?
As I reflect back on that, when I came into Horry County and realizing that I'd been in the upper part of the state, and also I just felt that this was as far as I could go without going into the water, and I said, this is it.
You wanted to be, having grown up in the upstate, you wanted to be...
I wanted to come here and just stay, and this is what I've done.
That's fascinating. Yeah. So it was really the water that helped make that decision a little easier. I think I saw you spent a few years in Clarendon County.
Yes.
In the school system there. Did you also, you formerly coached as well?
Yes, I did.
What sports was that?
Football, baseball, basketball.
Oh, come on.
I did a little bit of all of it.
Is that right?
Yes.
Did you play any of them growing up?
I played basketball.
Right.
Football was kind of, I played around with it. Didn't really play it. I played around with it.
And baseball was not one you played, but when you
baseball.
Is that right?
I was a catcher and also did a little pitching.
Is that right? Son of a gun. And coaching's probably a lot different than playing, though.
It is. It really is. I loved it, and I felt good doing it. But it was time for me to move on to do some other things. So, we had to move on and do what we have to do. I really just wanted to stay, be involved in teaching, and I felt good doing that, and that was a part of my life.
And did you teach a little bit of everything, or were there courses that you really focused on?
Well, I focused more on science and math, and that was just the area that I really enjoyed. I think being brought up on the farm, I saw so many things in the science area,
right.
And that was a part of my life. So I said, this is what I want to do.
Of course, you've heard from former students of yours that have gone on and probably keep great touch with them. Well, what are some of the things that you could feel that they were really bonding with you in the classroom? What were some of the things that you did? Did you have little tricks in the classroom to keep students really focused, particularly right now as parents are getting family off to school or get ready to head out of the house? When they think about their own, their children's educators, their children's teachers, and the commitment they make in the classroom, are there little things you did?
I think identifying with them, we used to have a lot of little things that we would share with them, like you could kind of put your arms around them and make them feel kind of at home.
And you're talking about physical, literally. In the classroom.
Yeah, you could do
support
that.
Them.
And support them. And then they would give back to you.
Right.
And that was one of the greatest things, to see them. A lot of the kids would say, "Oh, I want to go home and live with you. I just want to be a part of you, be your child." Well,
no.
Oh yes,
is that right?
Oh yes. We had that, and we really felt good about that. And we just put our all in all into it.
Right.
And
is your wife an educator as well?
Absolutely.
She was. When you're saying we, oftentimes folks will say we speaking about themselves. But in that instance, you mean you and your wife both who are educators felt that way about your students. That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes. In fact, she still like to stay in touch with education. She teaches adult education now.
Is that right? Great. Good.
After retiring. So.
And of course, when y'all taught, of course, in Horry County schools, was there a district? Was it just the school system itself, the Horry County schools, or were you in one of the cities, in the city of Myrtle Beach, or in
Myrtle Beach?
Okay.
City of Myrtle Beach.
Right. Both of y'all.
That's where we spent our time. Right in the city of Myrtle Beach.
As you think about folks today that are, out and about in the community doing a lot of things, are there names that stick out in your head from the classroom? Any of your former students that are names we hear about on a regular basis these days?
Well, I think if we go back to council members that we have now.
How about a couple of them?
The majority of them, you think about Wayne Gray and Randa Wallace and
that's
Dr. Render.
Bill Render as well was a former student of yours or of Julia's?
Played baseball for me because I was coaching here.
Yeah.
So we all had just a great time together.
That is fascinating. So Randall Wallace,
Yeah,
Wayne Gray, and Phil Render were all former
Chestnut,
Michael Chestnut.
Councilman
Yeah,
Chestnut, all of them. We all would just, just bond together, and that's how we could get the job done.
That is fantastic. And that is so exciting for folks who are in the classroom and particularly teaching particularly important skills like math and science, to see that bonding with students. Did you all ever take any of the kids in?
No, we really didn't. We just didn't have time to do that because we had one of our own.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's right.
We just didn't have time. It wasn't enough time in the day.
Is there even now?
Yeah.
There's still not enough time.
No,
sure,
we keep moving.
in the day. And you said you had one of your own, he or she?
She.
She, and she is where?
She's in Michigan, Farmington Hill, Michigan, and she's in education as well in the school system.
Is that right?
So,
this was a Woods motto.
Yeah.
You're getting an education or you're out of here. Yeah.
That's it. Our parent would say that no one can ever take that from you. That's something that's yours.
Right.
So, and the only thing you can do is share that with someone else.
Yeah.
And we just enjoy sharing.
That is wild. And of course, either directly or through the blood there, being a science teacher, obviously osmosis was something you knew well. And
Absolutely.
Whatever the diffusion of water through a semi-permeable, something like that. But that idea of a child actually picking it up from mother and father who are teachers must have been exciting. Did you get that impression early on that she was going to get into teaching, your daughter?
At one point. Because she said at one point, she said, I don't want to be in education. I'd like to be into the corporate world. And I said, okay. But later on, she said, that's not for me. I want to be in education. And that's what she's involved in now, in counseling.
In counseling as well?
Yes.
Is that right?
So
Great.
we're just happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Very
must have been
pleased.
thrilled. What was it about potentially serving on council that prompted you to, had you run for office prior to running successfully there in the early 90s?
No, that was my first time that we wanted to get involved in it. In fact, I hadn't planned to get involved in it.
Oh, come on. Yeah, tell us this story.
I really was, I was in, after retirement, I just went to see our daughter. She was living in Augusta at the time, she and her husband. And we came back, and we had a telephone call there and said, and this was from some people in the community.
Right.
And they said, we met and we decided we wanted you to run for office.
Oh, come on.
And I told my wife, I said, no way.
Yeah.
And they said, so when I saw them, they said, oh, yeah, you're going to run for office.
No.